Hey there! For anyone who is joining me, welcome to this week's stream. I am deciding to take a look at a list from Timeout Film. Our friends over at Timeout Film, I'm going to be talking about their supposed list of best sci-fi movies of all time. Um, I figured that that would be kind of a fun topic to focus on, talk about some sci-fi movies. Before I do that, though, might as well talk about some sci-fi films that I, well, not really a sci-fi movie. It's more of a horror film that I saw recently. I saw a film called Prevenge. I don't know if anyone's heard of that one. Came out, I think, a couple years ago. I know it aired on Shudder. It was okay. Um, I did get a laugh out of some of the jokes. It had some nice British dry humor in it, but the ending was just weird. I don't know what the filmmaker was trying to do with the ending there. It was a little off to 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 say the least. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take a look at um this list of best sci-fi movies. So, and you can feel free to chime in and ask some questions. Uh, Let me know on your thoughts on the films in the list and so on. Um, so yeah, we have number 100. It is Independence Day with Roland Emmerich as the director. Of course, it stars Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, and Bill Pullman. It kind of seems like almost like Independence Day is one of my favorites, but it's another one of those movies like in hindsight because it stars Will Smith. Like you can look at certain scenes and be like, "Ooh, that Welcome to Earth scene kind of hits a little different now, doesn't it?" Like Welcome to Earth just smacks the alien. It's like, stop hitting people, Will Smith. Now you're hitting aliens too. So I'm surprised it's actually on the list, considering that the film gets dunked on a lot nowadays. Um, this is Cole. My top three favorite sci-fi movies: Jurassic Park, The Thing, and Aliens. Um, those are some good picks. I mean, those are some really great sci-fi films. Then Cole chimes in again here. In your opinion, what is the most overrated sci-fi movie of all time? For me, the Hunger Games franchise. I actually haven't seen the Hunger Games film, so I can't really say much about that. Um, but thanks for chiming in, Cole. Number 99 is Dune. The most recent Dune, by the way, Dune from 2021. I still haven't seen that, and I like Dune. I like David Lynch's Dune quite a bit. I think it's really underrated. It would be on my list of best sci-fi movies. Uh, I definitely need to get around to checking out the new one. Uh, hey there, Hayden. Um, so I can't really say anything about the 2021 Dune. And has anyone here seen that one? And what are your thoughts on it? Feel free to leave some thoughts in the chat for all 7 people who are here right now. And maybe I'm on a little bit too late. That might be it. But number 98 is Annihilation, an Alex Garland film. I heard about that one, but it's another one I haven't really gotten around to seeing yet. I have it on Blu-ray though. I've heard it's got some nice visuals, and I've heard it's not that bad, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I I'm just kind of leery of it. Like I'm worried about that it being some kind of political movie, I guess. Cole asked a question. Actually, he did not really a question. He just mentioned something. Did you know Ridley Scott was supposed to direct a movie adaptation of Dune before it was canceled? Huh. No, I'm not. I'm not really that familiar with that. I know there was. Jodorowsky's Dune. I know that was something that was going to happen, but then it was deemed to be unfilmable, and it never really came to be. Um, Hayden asks, "Have I read the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic book series? I want to, but no, I haven't. I haven't read that series. I'd like to read those comics sometime, as well as the Army of Darkness versus Darkman. I think that's what it is. Like, there's actually like a Darkman crossover with Army of Darkness. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, and yeah, Denny Villeneuve. Yeah, he directed it. I know. I like Blade Runner 2049. Um, so I'll definitely check it out. I have it in 4K. The next film on the list of sci-fi movies that are the best according to Time Out is a film called The Endless, directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. Now, it's a film that I actually was curious about enough that I actually picked up on Blu-ray recently. It has a release from Arrow Video, so I picked that up, and it looks like it has potential. Deals with these, I think it's like two brothers, I believe. Yeah, two brothers. They return to a cult that they fled many years ago, and the cult is tied into like alien UFO activity and stuff like that. It definitely looks like something that might be interesting, but I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really debate its placement on a list of the best sci-fi movies of all time. This is from Hayden. What are my thoughts on an anime called Sailor Moon? I don't really have much thoughts because I've never seen Sailor Moon. I'm aware of Sailor Moon because I had a uh, my cousin. She was really into it, and there's another friend of mine on Facebook who's a really big fan of Sailor Moon. But I can't really say a whole lot about the Sailor Moon, to be honest. Um, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who can go on endlessly about Sailor Moon. I'm not one of them. Number 96 is a film called Serenity. And I've seen Serenity. And I got an interesting story about Serenity. I did not watch Firefly before seeing Serenity. So I was just completely lost. And I remember not being a fan of the film because I was like, am I missing something? And apparently I was. I had no idea it was a Firefly movie. I just thought it was its own standalone thing. And I think there was probably a lot of people that were kind of in that same boat when it came out. I think that might have been a reason why it didn't do very well box office wise. That's a film I'd like to revisit one of these days after actually watching Firefly. Um, there's another comment from Cole. Hellboy, Hellboy 2 are great movies. Technically not sci-fi, although there are some sci-fi elements. Yeah, I agree. I think Hellboy and Hellboy 2 are absolutely terrific. Hellboy 2 in particular is incredibly underrated. Um, yeah, it really does suck that we didn't get a third movie because Del Toro really wanted to do it, and so did Ron Perlman. But now that's not going to happen for numerous reasons. This is from JB. Some of my top favorite sci-fi movies: RoboCop, Escape from New York, and Blade Runner. You know, three really good picks for sure. This is from Will. Do you like Zelko Ivanek as an actor? I don't really know who that is. No offense, that name does not ring a bell for me. Hayden asks, "Hey, Mike, are you excited for Top Gun Maverick?" Yeah, I feel the need for speed. I'm gonna see it tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna go check out the matinee showing like at 11:20 in the afternoon. So actually 11:20 in the morning technically. It's so close to afternoon though that I sometimes get it mixed up when it comes to the time. I'm pretty pumped. I've been waiting to see that film for like 2 years. I'm a huge fan of Top Gun. In fact, that'll be the next review that I will post on this channel. So yeah, I'm really excited for Top Gun Maverick. I have a feeling the visuals are going to be jaw dropping and just awesome, but I have a feeling the story is not going to be the best. Um, This is from Cole again. Which movie is worse, Feeders or Howling 7? I haven't seen Feeders yet, so I would have to say that from what I've seen, it's definitely Howling 7. Um, yeah. So this is from Salvatore. Hey, is Mike? Hey, Mike, is Time Cop and Universal Soldier 1 and 2 some of your favorites? Time Cop is definitely one of my favorite sci-fi movies. So is the first Universal Soldier. I can watch Universal Soldier: The Return as a fun time waster for Van Damme and Goldberg and some of the action, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. Um, this is so okay. Here we have Wild Man Beyond. Greetings, greetings, Wild Man. Welcome. Hayden, yeah, I've watched Rambo Afterlife. He's a very good friend of mine. I actually joined in on a stream of his. I've been on a few streams of Rambo Rafts. So yeah, I've definitely watched Rambo Afterlife. Hey, well, welcome to the stream, Duncan. Let's see here. This is from Cole. Have I played any of the Resident Evil games? Actually, no. I have not played any of the Resident Evil games. I've heard of them. I haven't gotten around to playing them though. So from Banana and Bowie, yeah, interesting is a good way to put it. Yeah, it's Stone Cold, Steve Austin. Um, really like Stone Cold. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Wildman, Top Gun, or Iron Eagle. Top Gun. I like Iron Eagle, but I'm gonna go with Top Gun. I'm gonna go with Top Gun for sure. Okay, he played James Devlin on Oz. He also played Agent Molina in Live Free or Die Hard. Oh, he played the agent guy in Live Free or Die Hard. Like he's okay, nothing amazing. Michael, do I have hopes that Top Gun Maverick will be good? Yes, because Tom Cruise tends to be a guy who doesn't go into cruise control when it comes to a lot of his projects, except for like The Mummy. But other than that, like he really is very hands-on, wants to make sure that everything is done right and done the right way. So I do have hopes that it will be good. I don't think it's going to be as great as the first film, but I think it's going to have some definite highlights. I think it's going to have some moments where it definitely does turn on the afterburners. It's from Salvatore. Thoughts on Demolition Man, The Running Man, and Eraser. Demolition Man is an awesome movie. I love Demolition Man. It's one of my favorite sci-fi films, one of my favorite action films. It's a brilliant film in terms of the script, in terms of how it just predicted the future, how it skewers political correctness. Be well, be fucked. They're all singing advertising jingles. Armor hot dogs, armor hot dogs. The dogs kids love to bite. Somebody put me back in the fridge. Yeah, classic. Love that film. Needs a special edition, like and like a 4K release. I would love to see that. The Running Man, classic. It's right behind me. Love that movie. Here's planes. Here's Sub-Zero. Now Plane Zero. Yeah, classic. Love that movie. And Eraser. Right, Eraser's a fun one too. Definitely has some good action. That's for sure. Yeah. So let's see here. Who's Duncan? My favorite wrestler was Sting. Yeah, Sting's my favorite wrestler too. It reminds me, I definitely should get like a Sting hat because I know there's one for AEW. I should get one of those. Yeah, I heard about that. Ray Liotta, he passed away today. May he rest in peace. He was only 67. Ray Liotta was one of those actors where he never really like made it as big as you thought he was going to make it in the industry. Like after Goodfellas, you thought he was gonna skyrocket to like the stratosphere, and that didn't really happen. Like he was in Field of Dreams, had a bit part there. He was in some other stuff, but like he didn't like completely explode like Al Pacino did after The Godfather or anything. Like he had some good performances in films like Unlawful Entry, which I would really recommend, by the way. If you're in the mood to check out some Ray Liotta stuff, like that's a really good thriller with a great performance by Kurt Russell and a really good solid role by Liotta as the bad guy, this evil sadistic police officer. um I also like him in No Escape. I think that's actually a pretty underrated sci-fi action movie. It's fun. Turbulence, I'm not super big on, but Ray Liotta really isn't the problem in that, even though he's hamming it up to extreme lengths in that movie. Um, but yeah, he was in Field of Dreams. He was in some other stuff like Article 99, which I actually am gonna watch in the near future, and to honor Ray Liotta. He was also in Copland with Stallone, another one I definitely would recommend. He was really good in that, but something it just didn't really work out for him. I mean, he never like you said. MBW says weird how Ray Liotta never worked with Martin Scorsese after Goodfellas. It's weird. I don't know why it never worked out for him. It just is what it is. I heard maybe it might be kind of his kind of something that he did. Like he was kind of a hard guy to work with, or maybe he just didn't play the politics properly. I don't know. Whatever it is, he's definitely a guy who'll be missed, and I'm hoping that people will rediscover his filmography now that he's gone. And he'll definitely live on, like a lot of these other actors that have left their mark on the industry. I'm gonna get back to the list real quick, and then I'll get back to some more comments. Number 95 on this list is some film called Alphaville from 1965, directed by Jean-Luc Godard. Never seen it. Number 94 is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Really? Rogue One, a Star Wars story is the 94th best science fiction film ever made? I don't really buy that. I don't like Rogue One anyway. I thought it was boring. Uh, I just thought it was a lame movie. I barely even remember anything about that film. So yeah, I don't think that that's the 94th best sci-fi movie. I mean, hell, I would put fucking No Escape on a list, before I would put Rogue One on a list of best sci-fi movies. But that's just me. Next one, number 93 is THX 1138. The George Lucas film that he did like ages ago. Still haven't seen that one, by the way, so I can't say much about it. Number 92 is Black Panther. Black Panther? Why the fuck is Black Panther on a list of like the greatest science fiction films ever made? Is this because they're putting it on there because they don't want to be accused of being racist? Is that what this is? I don't understand why the hell that's on the list. That is not even remotely close to being one of the top 100 best science fiction films ever. Like it's not even close to being one of the best Marvel films. It sucks that Chadwick Boseman is no longer around, but Black Panther is at best an average film to me, and definitely not anything that's like 94, like or 92 on a list of 100. Like I appreciate the fact that it's low on the list, but I don't even know why it's on the list. Period. Yeah, Adam. A lot of the movies on the list are plain filler. Precisely. Definitely. It still makes it kind of ridiculous, though. Let's see here. So this from Drew. He says, "Is Twisted Pair worse than the Leprechaun franchise?" Yes, it is. And the Leprechaun franchise is pretty bad, but I'll take the Leprechaun franchise over Twisted Pair. Worst horror franchise and why? Witchcraft. Softcore porn with very little horror and bad acting. I know I haven't seen the entire franchise, but I just know that will be the worst because it's one of the longest as well. I was there's like 15 witchcraft movies or some shit. Um well, thank you, Adam. Thank you. Hey, Polly. Hey, you, Polly. Uh so I don't think I do the best impression. Like there are days where my impression is like stronger than others. But it's all right. Uh Yep, Salvatore Copland is really underrated. You blew it. You had your chance and you blew it. Robert De Niro is just so much fun in that. Yeah. May Fred Ward rest in peace as well. Remo Williams. Um Fred Ward is one of those actors that was just always solid in almost everything that he was in. Oh, yeah, I heard that he was in yeah, I saw him in the trailer for Many Saints of Newark. I still need to see The Sopranos too. And he did look like he might have been one of the highlights. Um, see Thomas Jane's the next Ray Liotta. You know what? That's not a bad comparison to make. Like, yeah, I think Thomas Jane could have been bigger too, but just stuff just didn't work out with him either. And he's still around, so maybe he still might have a chance to kind of make it work, but I don't know. Really don't know. Did I see the Willow series trailer? No, that dropped. I saw the one where they did like a preview of the cast. I know that they filled their woke quota by casting a transgender actress, which is I don't have a problem with if the reason why they cast the actress was she was the best actress for the role, not because she's trans. But I don't know, man. I love Willow, but I just Disney's track record lately with their TV shows or the movies is just not the best. Definitely not the best. Or the most consistent in terms of quality. Or maybe it is consistent, but it's consistently bad. Uh hey Pred. Welcome to the stream. Um what the fuck is this? Sorry, I just got spam. Just a spammer. I don't know why. Sorry, folks. I'm so sorry about the spam. An error. What? Why can't I spam this fuck? I mean, why can't I block this spammer? I don't want to spam the spammer. I want to block the spammer. It seems like YouTube is doing something about it. They won't let me do anything. Can I put the user in timeout? Okay. All right. I put the user in timeout. I guess they won't let me block the spammer entirely for some stupid reason. Let's see here. Yeah, I do feel that Dolph Lundgren did a lot of underrated gems. I mean, The Punisher, A Come in Peace. What do you call 108 murders in span of 28 days or some shit? Work in progress. I talk to God sometimes. Yeah, definitely do feel that Dolph is underrated. He never really got a fair shot. Like Showdown Little Tokyo is a blast, and it never got an official like wide theatrical release. Um, Army of One didn't get anything, and that was the film that he did pretty soon after Universal Soldier. You would think that after Universal Soldier being a huge smash hit, that it would lead to Dolph getting more film roles and bigger movies, but it just never happened. It never really came to fruition for whatever reason. I don't know why. Did I hear that Winnie the Pooh is getting? I saw an article about that. I saw an article about the Winnie the Pooh Honey and Blood movie. It's a fan thing. Like I doubt that people are actually fans of Winnie the Pooh. I mean, I remember speaking of Winnie the Pooh, I actually do remember watching that cartoon on Disney Channel, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood. Like what the hell? The hell is that? Like, I don't know about that. So let's go back to the list here. Yeah, Black Panther. What a bunch of bullshit. Number 91 is Solaris, the Steven Soderbergh sci-fi film with George Clooney. I've never seen that one either. Like, that's one that I've definitely heard of, and I've seen clips from, but I've never seen the movie, so I can't really say anything about it. And it's a remake, I think, as well. I don't even think like it's an original film. So okay, let's see here. What do we got in terms of more on this list? What is number 90? And Attack the Block. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Black Panther sci-fi. It's a bit of a stretch too, and it is a little stretch, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I number 90 being Attack the Block, like, it's okay. I don't think it's a top 100 film. Did I hear about 11-hour director's cut of Harry? No, I haven't heard about that. That's crazy, and that's pretty nuts. Why the heck does that? Why is that a thing? It's probably like deleted scenes or something. I don't know. That doesn't sound accurate to me. But you know, you never know. Do I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger will ever win an Oscar? No, I don't think he'll ever win one. Just like, sadly, I don't think Stallone will either. He deserves it. He's deserved it for films like Copland. He got completely screwed. He should have won the Oscar for Copland, but for some reason, he just didn't get enough votes. Here, so okay, we got Wildman. Have I seen Cobra Kai? Not yet. No, I haven't seen that film yet. God damn it! What the fuck with this spam, man? It won't let me block the user. Finally, get out of here. Sorry for the spam in the chat. Oh, you wanna fuck? Even losers can get fucked here. Like, come on. How about you get fucked, spammer? So let's go back to the list here. Attack the Block at number 90. Number 89 is Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Do 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 do. There, yeah. That, if you've seen that film, that theme is definitely an earworm. I like Buckaroo Banzai. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 100, but I do enjoy the film. I mean, Peter Weller is great in it. It's got a really amazing cast. I mean, it's not just Peter Weller. You got Jeff Goldblum. You've got John Lithgow. It's a really solid cast, and it's a very quirky, unique film for sure. Going back to sci-fi, Samuel asks, should Schwarzenegger have won an Oscar for The Terminator? No. He's good in it for what he's asked to do, what he's supposed to portray, but I don't think that's an Oscar-worthy performance. Salvatore asked, do I think Dead Bang with Dead Bang? I don't know what Dead Bang is. Dead Bang. That's something else entirely. Sounds like a super secret thing that YouTube does to channels that don't like. Give him a Dead Bang. Do you think Dead Bang with Don Johnson is underrated? Yes, I do. I think that's an incredibly underrated movie. I would love to get that on Blu-ray, but it doesn't have a Blu-ray. And the DVD was just like full screen, except for the more recent release from Warner Archive. What are my favorite Ray Liotta films? Well, I mentioned Unlawful Entry, No Escape, Article 99. Definitely Goodfellas. I would say those are my favorites. Salvatore asks, what are my thoughts on the Sniper franchise? The only good one is the first film. Don't really give a shit about any of the other ones. Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That definitely is a mind blowing movie. It still is a really mind blowing film. Visually, the 4K looks amazing. I know it was actually shot in 70 millimeter, and I know over here in Portland they were offering screenings, like multiple screenings, to see it in 70 millimeter, but I was just never able to catch one because it sold out so quick. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai. It's a shame that it's like out of print. Like it had a Blu-ray from Shout Factory, but now that went out of print. So yeah, Jonathan, I'm hoping that Vinegar Syndrome or Kino does like a 4K of it sometime. Um, yeah, Adam, I did see Identity and I didn't like it, but Ray Liotta's he's not bad in it. That's for sure. Well, I hope you're having fun with Firebirds, Wild Man. I know that that's a film that it definitely is an acquired taste. Like, there's a lot of people who don't like that one. They aren't fans of it. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed Firebirds as a fun bit of entertainment with Nick Cage and Tommy Lee Jones. And it's Top Gun with helicopters, but it knows what it is and it delivers on that front. At least for me, I know a lot of people don't like it. I will say this: Sean Young is terrible in that movie. She's not very good. But you know, it's. I never thought it would get a Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. I wish they used the original poster art because I'm not really a big fan of this, but still glad to have it on Blu-ray. That's for sure. Um, yeah, Pred. I'm actually seeing Top Gun Maverick tomorrow, so I'll be checking that out tomorrow, and I'll get a review of it up within the next couple days. Going back to the list of sci-fi films, number 88 is Fantastic Voyage, the original. The original Fantastic Voyage is there. It's all right. I much prefer Inner Space. I think Inner Space is an incredible movie. It's a lot of fun. It's very creative. It's got some of the most impressive visual effects of its time. Um, and Martin Short is just hilarious in that movie. I'm possessed, and I love Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is great. You just digested the bad guy. Yeah, I can twist the night away with that movie anytime. That's another one I'd love to see get a 4K or a special edition, but it probably never will. Number 87 is Minority Report. That one's all right. That's one of those films though where it used a lot of CGI from like the early 2000s and it has not really held up that well. I don't know if any of you have tried to watch Minority Report recently, like on a high definition screen, but like some of that CGI just looks like shit nowadays. It looks bad. Does not hold up. And I thought Minority Report was okay, but I'm not gonna put it in like top 100. Number 86 is High Life with Robert Pattinson. I heard about that one. I've never seen it though. The only sci-fi film that involved a fuck box and a shaman of semen. What? High Life is correct. Huh? The fuck? Um. Alrighty then. Dante, what is my favorite mafia movie when you pick from the 80s? Well, the 80s didn't have as many great ones. I mean, Scarface, I guess, because Goodfellas is a 90s film. Brandon, did I see Constantine? Yeah, and I love Constantine. I think Constantine is an underrated film. It's actually getting a 4K release from Warner Brothers later this year, which I think could look fantastic. It could look really good. Sam asks thoughts on Nick Cage. I like Nick Cage, but I don't love Nick Cage. You see, Nick Cage is an actor that I admire for the fact that he's always willing to try new things. But he's an actor that really needs to be reined in to deliver the best possible performance. And then sometimes you can you can let him be unrestrained and it could turn into something just absolutely glorious, but in a so bad it's good way, like Deadfall. Hi fucking yeah. But other times it can just be pure cringe, like in Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. Like I remember just cringing in the theater when he's doing the whole scratching at the door. Ah! I was just like, oh god, really? Really, Nick? God, man. This is from Zero. Fucks given. Who's had a better career, Steven Seagal or Nick Cage? Nick Cage. Nick Cage has earned the status of being like a cult favorite. Like he's become a guy that people genuinely look forward to see his next films. Steven Seagal is a fucking joke and a fat ass. So yeah, I mean Steven Seagal doesn't even do his own stunts anymore. He has people do somersaults for him in his movies because he can't even do that anymore. This is from Salvatore. Thoughts on Maria Conchita Alonso? Yeah, Maria Conchita Alonso is sexy. I always thought she was a capable actress. Pretty much liked her in a lot of the roles that she was in. Honestly, would have been nice to have seen her get a little bit more film roles, but you know, it is what it is. Valhalla, ever watched the Sci-Fi film Arena? Yep. So I have. With the actor who was in Creepshow 2. I think it was one of the few films that he starred in. And the guy looks like blonde Christopher Reeve. Like, if you ever seen that film, like, he really does. He looks like blonde Christopher Reeve. And that's a film where I like the idea better than the movie. I mean, the movie itself is okay, but I just love the idea of, like, space boxing or, like, space kickboxing. I think that's a fun idea with a guy, like a human kickboxing or fighting space aliens or something. That's a film. Honestly, I honestly would like to see get remade. I think that'd be cool to see a remake of Arena with like a little bit more money behind it. Let's see here. Yeah, I heard about the Lost Boys getting a 4K. Look forward to that. And I know Flatliners is also getting one too, thanks to Arrow Video, which I'm really looking forward to that one. Because for the longest time, the Flatliners film was only available on like Blu-ray from like Mill Creek. It was just like just a pretty mediocre transfer and no features. Do I think Steven Seagal should make a comeback or could? No, I don't think he can make a comeback. I don't think he wants to either. Yeah, I hope for some reason I can't even speak now. Robocop. That's the remake. That's Rubber Cop. I doubt RoboCop 2 is going to be anywhere on this list. I'm hoping the first film will be on the list, but I highly doubt that the second one will be. Speaking of lists, let's go back to that real quick. Number 85 is some film called The Damned from 1963. I've never even remotely heard of this movie. Okay. Number 84 is The Andromeda Strain. I know that film has gotten like a huge bunch of acclaim over the years, but I haven't really been a huge fan of that one myself. Like it's there for me, but I don't know. Like I definitely would prefer something like the original Planet of the Apes over the Andromeda Strain. The film's kind of a strain to sit through because the film is like so long. Number 83 is Frankenstein. Is it Frankenstein? Is that really a science fiction film? Like, I guess you could technically call it a science fiction movie, but I really wouldn't call Frankenstein from 1931 a science fiction film. Most people call it a horror movie. So I wouldn't put that on a list of best sci-fi films, and if I did, it'd probably be higher than number 83, considering how influential it is. Number 82 is Things to Come from 1936. Number 81 is Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas? What? That film sucked. Another film that felt like it was forever and a day long. I haven't seen The Brother from Another Planet. I have the DVD, but I haven't seen the film yet. I've definitely heard of it though. Haven't seen the Banana Splits movie. I do have it on DVD though. Hey there, TTM production. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for leaving a comment. Glad you enjoyed those videos. And congrats to the Braves. I think they won the World Series recently, didn't they? They won it last year. I think last season. Let's see here. Eric Stoltz versus Eric Roberts. Like in a fight? I mean, I'll go with Eric Roberts. I mean, he was in Best of the Best. I don't think Eric Stoltz would win in a fight. In terms of like performer, Eric Stoltz is pretty underrated. I mean, he was good in The Fly 2. He was great in Mask. He's been good in a few other things. He had a fun little role in Pulp Fiction. Eric Roberts, he's probably had the more rangy career in terms of like the range of films that he's done, like Runaway Train and Ambulance and so on, The Best of the Best. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like actor, I would probably say Eric Stoltz is the better actor. But like an actual fight, Eric Roberts would win. But in terms of like the films that they've been in terms of the films that I prefer, I would probably give Eric Roberts a slight edge, even though he's been in stuff like A Talking Cat or whatever the hell that was. I don't really have any thoughts about the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. I still need to see that. Do I think RoboCop 3 is worse than the remake? No, I don't. I don't. As bad as RoboCop 3 is, at least I have some nostalgia for that film. I don't have anything but disdain for the remake. Yeah. Great picks, QJC, Star Wars, Back to the Future, 2001, Aliens, Terminator, RoboCop. Anyway, huge thanks to anyone who's just joined in or still joining in here. Speaking of science fiction movies, looking forward to the documentary. I would if the makers of that series didn't have such a questionable track record. I don't know. I'll wait till that shows up on Shudder or streaming, because it will eventually be streaming. I mean, 100%. But yeah, Gina Davis is definitely a MILF, and when she was in her prime, like she was just fucking hot. Like I've always had a crush on her. Her look in The Long Kiss Goodnight when she dyes her hair blonde, and that still gets me. That still gets me up. What are my thoughts on the upcoming Expendables 4? It's gonna suck. That's my thoughts on that. Expendables 3 was terrible. I don't have any hope for Expendables 4. Going back to the sci-fi list, number 80 is the Iron Giant. I would actually have that higher. I love the Iron Giant. I don't know if anyone here remembers with the VHS release, because I remember getting the VHS and I remember having that little miniature Iron Giant, that plastic like Iron Giant that was included with the VHS tape. I wish I still had that, because I used to like just really love that thing. Like I would always like take it with me as a kid. You know, I was have my own little Iron Giant with me, like a Lucky Charm. Really like that film. That reminds me, I need to watch that again and do a review of that. I really love the Iron Giant. It's honestly one of my favorite animated movies. Um, do I find Jabba the Hutt an underrated Star Wars villain? Not really. I think he's rated about where he should be. Empire Strikes Back and T2. Good picks. For sure. Definitely. Transformers, the movie, like the animated one, it's there for me. I will say this: if you're a big fan of that, definitely pick up the 4K if you have a 4K a 4K player. Of course, you forgive me for moments where my mind doesn't match what's coming, or my mouth doesn't match what's coming out of my brain. Uh, that's kind of what happens when you go live. Uh, let's see here. In their prime, who do you think was hotter, Jennifer Connelly or Phoebe Cates? Ooh, man, that's a tough one. Jennifer Connelly was just smoking. Career opportunities, The Rocketeer. Phoebe Cates was there too, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'd probably give Jennifer Connelly a slight bump, slight edge, mainly because I didn't really get exposed to Fast Times until like way later in my life. Like Jennifer Connelly in The Rocketeer, like that was one of my first major crushes when I was young. Um, have you ever watched the movie Psycho Goreman? No, but I do have it on DVD, and it seems like it might be my kind of movie. I like the idea behind it. Going back to the sci-fi list, number 79, The Mitchells versus the Machines. Like, didn't that just come out? I've heard it's not bad, but like I don't know about it being like top 100. I've noticed a lot of these lists tend to like throw in a 2021 movie or like a movie that came out very recently. Maybe it's for trending or something. I don't know. Maybe it's to keep the list in people's minds. I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for the donation. Willy's Wonderland versus Banana Split movie. Be great if there's a Friday night at Freddy's game where you fight back like Willy's Wonderland. You'd be like that Freddy Bear. Huh. Maybe. I've heard of that game, never played it. Watched a lot of Markiplier's playthroughs though. Um, still need to see the Banana Splits movie. Brian asked thoughts on Atlantis: The Lost Empire. The other one I am curious about but still haven't seen. I know Michael J. Fox does a voice in that. Number 78 on the list is Ghost in the Shell. I'm going to say something super controversial, and I wouldn't be surprised if people in the chat are going to be shocked and might leave and protest. I don't really care for the 1995 Ghost in the Shell anime. Like, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I thought it was too pretentious. I thought it was boring. It had some nice visuals, some good animation. I just didn't get into the story, the characters. I actually like the live action film more, and I know that's probably going to get me shot and crucified and dragged through the streets, for some people. But it is what it is. I'm so sorry about the fucking spammer. I didn't have any issues with spammers for any of my other streams, so my deepest apologies, folks. I'm trying to keep tabs on that as quick as I can. Fucking spammers, man. Start talking about sci-fi films and get a fucking bot that shows up and starts spamming porn. Thoughts on the live action Transformers movies? I haven't seen all of them. I saw the first three in the theater. I enjoyed them. I haven't seen them in forever. Uh, I do remember being a fan of them though. I was one of those people that like was really looking forward to like the next Transformers movie. Like seriously. Um, so I definitely have some nostalgia for those live action Transformers movies. I have more nostalgia for those films than I do for the animated movie or the animated show. Do I think Boiling Point Wesley Snipes is a little disappointing but okay? I don't even think it's okay. I think it's below average. It's very disappointing to me. Which actress do I think is aged well? Gina Davis. She's aged pretty well. Julie Louis-Dreyfus. She's aged pretty well too. There's probably some more I could probably think of off the top of my head, but You know, those are ones that pop in there for right now. Akira, yeah, Akira is awesome. Akira is amazing. Like that's one that I definitely agree with, and I'll put pretty high on my own list. And the 4K of that, like they finally got it right. Like if you're one of those people that were leery of it because of the reviews for like the first one, the first 4K, definitely uh check out the newer release because they fixed everything and it's just gorgeous. Um yeah, Johnny, I did start going over the list already. Like I'm on number 77. For those of you who didn't catch the beginning of the list, I'll catch you up real quick. Number 100 is Independence Day. Number 99 is Dune from 2021. Number 98 is Annihilation. Number 97 is The Endless. Number 96 is Serenity. Number 95 is Alphaville. Number 94 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Sorry, just seeing that gave me some indigestion, or that might be the Taco Bell I had earlier. Number 93 is THX 1138. Number 92 is Black Panther. Number 91 is Solaris from 2002. Number 90 is Attack the Block. Number 89 is Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Number 88 is Fantastic Voyage. Number 87 is Minority Report. Number 86 is High Life. Number 85 is The Damned from 1963. Number 84 is Andromeda Strain from 1971. Number 83 is the original Frankenstein from 1931. Number 82 is Things to Come from 1936. Number 81 is Cloud Atlas. Number 80 is Iron Giant. Number 79 is Mitchell's versus the Machines. Number 78 is Ghost in the Shell. And now we're caught up, and number 77 is World on a Wire. 1973 film that I've never heard of. Number 76 is Avatar. Why? Why is Avatar on the list of top 100 sci-fi films? If we're just talking about eye candy, sure, but not objectively or even subjectively the best, at least for me. I really don't get that one at all. But hey, it's cool. I looks like Monoval would have it on his list, and that's fine with me. Do I like Drive with Marta Coscos? Yeah, Drive is awesome. Drive is really underrated, and I definitely recommend that one. Great action scenes. Definitely, honestly, I would say, not probably, it is my favorite film, action film, or favorite film period that stars Marta Coscos. What's the worst sci-fi movie you've ever seen? Twisted Pair. I love my brother. I don't have a beard. God, fuck that movie and fuck Neil Breen. Yeah, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, classic. So is First Contact, Total Recall as well. Avatar. Here's the thing. Avatar was like a huge, like big behemoth, not only in the box office but critically and with audiences when it came out. Like it was just a phenomenon. I remember people dressing up in like Navi face paint for the premiere because I was working at the movie theater in 2009, and it was an event, and I do remember checking it out and in the theater as well, and being mesmerized by the visuals and the 3D. But it's the kind of film that's just kind of lost its luster over the years. Thoughts on Margaret Collin, the actress from Independence Day, the actress who played Bill Pullman's wife in that film. I thought she did a great job in that movie. Have I seen Friday, like the comedy? Yeah, that's a really fun one. Equilibrium is an underrated gem. Can't argue with that. Have I watched Breaking Bad? No. I should, but I haven't. I haven't seen that yet. Favorite, least favorite Star Wars movie. Favorite Star Wars film is Empire Strikes Back. Least favorite is The Last Jedi. Favorite sci-fi actor. I guess Peter Weller. He was in Leviathan, RoboCop, RoboCop 2, Buckaroo Banzai. Number 75 on this list is Arrival from 2016. Another one I've heard of, haven't seen yet. I know it's got a lot of positive reviews. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sam. Sorry, my bad. Mary McDonnell is Bill Pullman's wife. Margaret Cullen is the estranged girlfriend for Jeff Goldblum's character. There's so many characters and actors in that movie. It's easy to get them mixed up. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah, she was good in that too. I liked her performance in the film as Jeff Goldblum's character's girlfriend. She had some really good chemistry with Jeff Goldblum in that movie. Yeah, Arrival, another one I've heard really good things about, but never saw. I know that Denis Villeneuve directed it, and he's done a lot of really good stuff, so definitely need to check that out sometime. Number 74 is Return of the Jedi. Surprised it's that low. That's kind of surprising that it's that low on the list. Yeah, I know. I don't know why Avatar is higher than Independence Day. I'm just happy and pleasantly surprised that it's even on the list, considering how much people shit on Independence Day. Return of the Jedi, I don't mind the film. It's a fun movie. I definitely do like it, but I'm not a fan of the Ewoks. I just got to be perfectly honest. I don't like the Ewoks. I actually like the Ewoks better in their TV movies than their appearance in Return of the Jedi. Last Jedi is one of those movies that just worse and worse the more you watch and think about it. Yeah. Yeah. It lights my brain on fire. Would I see a live action Treasure Planet? It depends. I think it's probably fine having it be the way that it is animated, to be honest. Kim asks, favorite type of alien? Honestly, it's like aliens that are not your typical kind of design or look. You know, not the grays or whatever. That's boring, and it's okay in the right context, but it's kind of boring. Honestly, my preferred type of alien is the kind of stuff you see in films like Arena or other movies that have a lot more creativity in terms of the design of the aliens. That's my favorite type of alien. Yeah, I did hear about Ray Liotta's death. You mentioned it earlier in the stream. May you rest in peace. Alien 3 or Critters 4? Critters 4 is bad, and it's a similar kind of thing where they turn certain characters into villains or do really questionable writing choices. And I guess I gotta go with Critters 4. As much as I don't like that movie, at least it doesn't piss me off as much as Alien 3. So I guess that's definitely where it's gotta go. Fucking spammer again. Go away, bot. Go away, porn bot. Number 73 is Flash Gordon. Flash, savior of the universe. Flash Gordon, I'm surprised that's on the list too, to be honest, because it's such a campy movie. It's the kind of film that I think a lot of people would watch nowadays and be like, that is so lame and cheesy. I'm like, well, that's the point. It's supposed to be that way. I love Flash Gordon, warts and all. I've always enjoyed Flash Gordon. The soundtrack by Queen is awesome. It's a really fun and enjoyable movie. It's got some great production and art design. It's got a really cool look to it. It's a great love letter to those old Flash Gordon serials from back in the day, and I've always had a blast with Flash Gordon. I grew up watching Flash Gordon on DVD. It was like one of the first DVDs I ever remember getting my parents to buy. I even remember where we got it. We got it at like Borders, which I don't think Borders is even a thing anymore. So yeah, I'm a fan of Flash Gordon. Number 72 is American Astronaut. I don't remember that one. Number 71 is a film called Seconds, directed by John Frankenheimer. One I've heard good things about. Number 70 is The Prestige. Is The Prestige really a sci-fi movie? I don't know about that. Yeah, Hypnocell Dreams. Yeah, it's campy, heartfelt fun. That's a great way to sum up sum up Flash Gordon. Here we have another donation. Thank you, Bobby. Best year decade for cartoons. I'm gonna kind of cheat here and go like late 90s or early mid 2000s. I would say that's the best year decade for cartoons for me. Like the heyday and prime of Cartoon Network. The 90s had some stuff too, like Spider-Man and Batman the Animated Series and stuff, but um that's tough too because I really like the 90s. Maybe, but it's just one of those things where uh, I would say the 2000s had a lot of really good stuff too. I'm a little too young to really have been a big fan of the 80s, but yeah, like 90s, 2000s era of cartoons for me. Um, Terminator 1 or Terminator 3? Terminator 1, like, of course, it's Terminator 1. I'm not gonna go with like talk to the hand. Like come on now. uh Am I gonna rant on Prey? You bet your sweet ass I will rant on that fucking movie. Which is worse, Jaws of Revenge, Superman 4, Quest for Peace? I think I've been asked this before. I'll say the same thing. Superman 4, Christopher Reeve. At least I have Christopher Reeve. Don't get anything like that in with Jaws 4. Um, hey there, Juno. Yeah, The Fifth Element is a classic. I hope it's on this list. Love that film. It's great. That's a good one to mention. Fire in the Sky. Very twisted, not necessarily twisted, but really genuinely scary film. That's for sure. Definitely one of the scarier sci-fi alien abduction movies. I would say it's the best alien abduction movie, period, to be honest. Number 69 is Iron Man. 69, dude. Iron Man that's an incredible movie. I remember seeing that in a theater. It was the resurrection of Robert Downey Jr. It was the start of the era of Marvel films. I honestly miss that era of Marvel films where they're just figuring things out and they don't already have like 50 films planned till 2032 or some shit. I miss that era of Marvel. And it seemed like they took a little more chances too, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I could see Iron Man being more of a science fiction film than Black Panther. Because even though Black Panther's suit has some sci-fi stuff, like Iron Man, like he's got an iron suit with like tech and everything, and even the guy he fights has like a robot suit. There's a lot of robot stuff, and I can see Iron Man being science fiction. I don't think that's too much of a stretch. Frankenstein Unbound. I haven't seen it, but I've heard pretty interesting things about it. Like there are people who are like, "Oh, it sucks." Other people are like, it's pretty underrated. I have it on DVD. What was the first film I saw at the cinema? Technically, since my parents took me when I was like a newborn to see Batman 89, I guess that's technically the first film I saw at the cinema. In terms of like the first film I remember seeing, like I do remember seeing Godzilla 1998 at the drive-in, and I also remember seeing Phantom Menace. So I guess maybe those might be some of the first films that I remember seeing in the cinema, but I also remember seeing, going back even further, I saw Spawn, I saw Kazam. Yeah, I saw Kazam. I also saw Space Jam. Doesn't make up for Kazam though. Dragging my poor dad to see that piece of shit. Have I played the AVP games? No, but I would like to. Blade Runner or Blade Runner 2. I'm gonna give a slight edge to the first film. I haven't watched Ebola Syndrome, not yet, but I do have it. It looks like it might be a pretty insane movie. Uh, let's see here. Do I think aliens exist? Yeah, I do. I mean, there's no way we're alone in this universe. The universe is too vast. But going back to aliens and going back to sci-fi, number 68 is Logan's Run. Logan's Run is one of those films that I'm surprised hasn't gotten remade like twice. It's somewhat well known enough, and it had like a TV show, and it's one of those films that really could benefit from advancements in technology for special effects. So I'm really surprised that it hasn't gotten remade. Um, and the original, I think it's okay. I wouldn't put it on my top 100. I definitely wouldn't put Extra on there. My Extra, this is one fucked up movie. Like it starts out with this full grown man being born out of this woman, and this whole story about this father who was abducted by aliens who comes home and sucks on his kid's neck, gives him like a hickey, and then makes him into an alien. And like there's like panthers and like toys that come to life, and there's like women that get turned into uh, uh pretty much just egg laying machines. And really what I remember the most about Extra, other than how batshit insane the movie is like the trailer, where the narrator, it seemed like he was running out of time or something, and it was like Extra rated R, like it's just like just super quick, just rated R. All right, I didn't have time, so I'm just gonna say it as quickly as possible. And the story about the ending, and like from the director, I think, the writer or whatever, it was pretty hilarious. It was like a commentary on like the DVD where they're talking about uh I forgot exactly what the specifics was, but it was hilarious. I remember being really funny. Um, can some directors be too far gone to make a good movie again? Yeah, yes they can. Case in point, Walter Hill. He came back after a long layoff, and I don't think he's gonna do it. I know he's doing a western now. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe that's what'll get him back on the saddle. But I don't know. I don't know about that. Thoughts on Alf? I recently picked up Alf on DVD. I know Alf on DVD is like censored and it's the syndicated versions, but I never really saw much of the show other than a few clips on TV back in the day. So I can't say a whole lot about Alf. But I do want to see it. And I know that um, it's one of those things where it got a release that was truncated, and now Shout Factory has the rights, and they have pretty much been able to um, get like the uncensored versions and like do some extra stuff and make them a little bit better in terms of picture quality. Sorry, I was just trying to kick out that fucking spammer again. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep track of it as quickly as I can, but I'm also trying to talk on the stream. I'm trying to see if I can make someone a moderator. I'm gonna go to like the live stream on YouTube, and I'm going to um okay, I'm gonna make someone a moderator, a couple people moderators, so I can get a little bit better for this. Okay. Do. And there we go. All right. I'm got some backup now. So hopefully that'll help out. Um Going back to the list here, which I have to bring up again because I had to X out of it because I was doing something. Sorry for all the dead air, folks. Fucking spam bot. Here we go. I gotta find my place again too. Woo! Yeah, there's been some good films on the list, that's for sure. First movies I remember seeing in the theater was a Grinch. Okay. You know, now that you mentioned that, I think I saw that in the theater too. Yeah, I think I saw that in the theater. Yeah, I did see Star Trek Nemesis in the theater. And yeah, it really was the only Star Trek film I saw in the theater. I thought I might have seen First Contact, but I don't think I actually did. I just watched that a lot on VHS. Um, let's see here. Thoughts on Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's classic. It's a cult classic. Really enjoy that movie. It's a lot of fun. I have the Arrow Video Blu-ray. So let's go back to list here. Logan's Run. Number 67 is Westworld. So there we go. Westworld. That's a pretty good one. I would say in a lot of ways, it's a film that inspired a lot of movies that came after, like Terminator, because the Yul Brenner character, there's definitely a lot of sort of vibes with that particular writing and everything. I know the show on the HBO is supposed to be really good, and I did get like season 1 in 4K, but I haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, Westworld's a good pick. Yeah, Short Circuit films. Those are classics. I doubt they're going to be on this list. But yeah. Do you know, like, the first theatrical experience was The Hulk? Yeah, I also saw that in the theater. And I remember not being a fan of it then. Pred, no, I mean, I will probably eventually check it out because knowing me, someone will probably request it, or I'll just watch it anyway just to see if this is as bad as I think it's gonna be. But I'm not seeing that in the theater. That's for fucking sure. Alien 1979 or Extra. Alien. 100% Alien. Well, thank you, Bobby. And now that you mention that, sure. Just have to add you as a mod here real quick. Alrighty. Sorry for an echo if you see anything like that. There we go. Alrighty. So, yeah, Extra was insane for sure. Am I a fan of Steven Spielberg? Yes and no. I'm a fan of a lot of his films. He's directed a lot of my favorite movies from multiple different genres. But I'm not necessarily a fan of him as a person, considering how he handled things with Rick Baker when it comes to the unproduced film Night Skies and the effects work that Rick Baker toiled on for that film that he and Carlo Rambaldi basically stole for E.T. and Rambaldi wound up winning an Oscar for. I'm not really a fan of how he acted. He acted completely unprofessionally when Rick Baker said he couldn't do E.T. because of his commitment to American Werewolf in London. He acted like a bitch and ranted and raved and stormed out of Baker's shop with a bunch of Baker's artwork and designs from Night Skies, which explains why E.T. looks like the same fucking design that Rick Baker did, just with part of the head cut off. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm definitely not a fan of how he's handled the Poltergeist situation, because he could have just came out and squashed things and just said Toby directed the movie, but he never really did that after all these years. Toby's now dead and he can't say anything. And Steven Spielberg has continuously gotten involved with his lawyers and prevented any special edition of Poltergeist from being released on home video. He's the reason why you don't have a special edition of Poltergeist with like interviews with cast and crew. That's why the anniversary Blu-ray or DVD just had like some bullshit documentary about real life ghost hunters. It's his fault. Also, He put a total block on a fan who was working on a Poltergeist book, like a book about Poltergeist, the film, making of, and its legacy. He even got Craig T. Nelson to do an interview for the book, and Craig T. Nelson's not a guy who normally does stuff. And Steven Spielberg got his lawyers involved and just pretty much just banned the book, and the book never got made, never got put together. Spielberg just told the guy who was putting the book together to fuck off. So I'm not a fan of Spielberg as a person for some of the stuff that I've heard that people don't talk about because they don't want Spielberg and his lawyers on them or on their asses. But I'm a fan of a lot of his work. I'm definitely a fan of him as a director, but not necessarily as a person. Let's see here. Yeah, I feel First Contact. Yeah, it's a great film. Assimilate this. Thoughts on Jupiter Ascending. It's a fucking train wreck. That's my thoughts on Jupiter Ascending. Sonic 1 or 2, which is better? I like the first film more. And they're barely sci-fi, but I would say I actually like the first film more. That's just me. Thoughts on Deadly Spawn from 1983. I think that's a really underrated film. I'm waiting for Synapse to finally get done with a remaster, but by that time it'll be 84 years. It's been 85 years. But yeah, it's a great testament to what you can do with little money. It's a fun B movie. Will The Fifth Element be the next review in the Bruce Willis marathon? Yes, it will. Would I rather be a stalker or runner on The Running Man? Well, I mean, I would suck at either one. Can I just choose neither? Can I just choose to be in the audience? I'd rather do that. Am I a fan of the old and new West Side Story? I haven't seen the new one, but I am a fan of the old one. Definitely enjoy that one. I think it's a good musical. Okay, you could be in Climbing for Dollars. Fine, I'll do that. I'll climb for some dollars. Yeah, that Poltergeist documentary, that is a gem. I actually do have a copy of that. Did I ever watch shows Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Brothers, Ghost Nation, Ghost Mine? Are those all real? I mean, some of them sound made up. No, I never really got into that. I do like The Haunting though, and I do remember not minding Paranormal State. Now back to the sci-fi list. So we have Westworld. Number 66 is the original Thing from Another World. Okay. All right. Number 65, The Abyss. Nice. I love The Abyss. The Abyss is awesome. It's amazing. That would look absolutely phenomenal in 4K, as well as as long as it has the right color timing and it's not DNR'd and it's not fucked to shit like the T2 4K. But yeah, The Abyss is a film that I've always loved ever since I was young. I'm just completely, totally mesmerized by that film, and the behind the scenes of that movie is just unbelievably fascinating. I mean, James Cameron and company, they rented a nuclear reactor, an abandoned nuclear reactor, and they filled it up to the brim with water, and they had like these beads and stuff like that on top to kind of like simulate night, and just the extreme lengths that everybody went to do so much for real in that film was just insane. That's the kind of film that would never get made again the way that it was. It was such a rough shoot for people who were in the film. They had like t-shirts made where they talked about how they survived the abyss. I mean, Ed Harris almost drowned Like he legitimately almost drowned while they were shooting a scene. Um, yeah, there was just a lot of just in absolutely unbelievable and just crazy shit that went on during the making of that film. You know, the fluid breathing stuff in that movie, that's actually real. That was actually real stuff that they used that was being experimented and worked on by the Navy. So it was actually a real thing. So yeah, The Abyss is just a magical film, and I can't wait to see the 4K if it ever does come out. But until that happens, I'm okay with a pretty well made bootleg that somebody did that has all the additions, it has all the features and everything, and looks pretty good. Um, Looked like my other light just went out, so I'll just turn that off. It's got like a limit on it in terms of how much energy it has, so I'll just have to. Actually, it wasn't plugged in this entire time. I think it's dead though. I don't think it's gonna stay on. Alrighty. Sorry about that. Get an image of my shirt. The Abyss. Classic. I highly recommend it. The original theatrical cut. I would say I do prefer theatrical cut. It's got better pacing, that's for sure. Um, the extended edition is 30 minutes longer, but I wouldn't say it's the best version of the film. What do I think about Fury Road? I like the film, but I do think it's a tad overrated in hindsight. I did see it in the theater, had a lot of fun with it, but yeah, I agree. I don't think Tom Hardy looked the part. I don't think he fit as Mad Max, period. I thought he sucked. He just grunted like Tim the Toolman Taylor. So yeah, not super big on on Tom Hardy in that movie. I definitely think he's a weaker aspect of it. That's for sure. Zach, I'm pretty sure other people might have corrected you already, but Steven Spielberg didn't do that. He's not the one that was involved with Vic Morrow and the two kids. That was John Landis. Steven Spielberg actually broke off his friendship with John Landis after that. Thanks again for the donate. Thanks again for agreeing to be a moderator. Thank you. What are some special editions I prefer to the original theatrical cuts? Blade Runner. Like the original theatrical cut, I'm not really a big fan of because of the narration and other things. So yeah, the director's cut, the final cut, actually, I like the best. Thoughts on Johnny Mnemonic? I like the film. It's something else. I mean, you got like a dolphin that has like cybernetic implants. You've got a lot of stuff in it that nowadays seems rather dated in terms of the technology, but it kind of adds to the fun and the charm of the movie. I like the visuals. I love the soundtrack. Uh, Dolph Lundgren playing some crazy psycho killer guy. Um, and it's not the best Keanu Reeves performance, but I still like it because it just has a lot of moments that make me smile. I want room service. And also Johnny Mnemonic is a film that was copied by a lot of other movies. I mean, Elysium just ripped that movie off for a major plot point. If you think about it, just think about it. Elysium has a whole plot point about how Matt Damon's character has the cure for a virus in his head. Oh, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh yeah, because that was the plot from Johnny Mnemonic. And of course, people mention The Matrix and so on. Yeah, imagine being trapped underwater in an enclosed space, James Cameron. Yeah, that might be just as nightmarish as everything else when it comes to the experience of shooting that film. Speaking of film, film versus digital. It, it, that's an interesting debate. There are certain positives that film has, but there's also certain negatives. Uh, I don't think it really is necessarily an issue with digital versus film for me. It's an issue with the fact that there's so much digital stuff. Like if you shoot digitally, but if you have a lot of practical effects, I still think that still is effective and equally as effective as anything you could shoot on film. But when it comes to this stuff that's just all green screened and just so much stuff that's just thrown at you that looks like a cutscene from a video game, and it's shot digitally, it just it doesn't have that tangible quality to it. So I would say it's not necessarily the format or what people are using to shoot these films, but it's what they have in these movies. Um, Juno, how did it? I got it off Amazon Germany, and the Blu-ray is not region free. The 4K though is region free, but 4Ks are region free anyway. Um, Number 64 on this list, The War of the Worlds, the original. The original is okay. I actually prefer the remake by Steven Spielberg. That's just me personally. I know that might be sacrilege for some people. Number 63 is Sleeper, the Woody Allen movie. That wasn't for me. I tried getting into that one. It just didn't do it for me. Number 62 is some film called J et Ami. J et Ami. Never seen it. Probably some critically acclaimed French artsy fartsy movie. Number 61 is Dark City. That's cool. Cool to see that one get some rub, because I always liked that one. Really great, creepy, eerie direction by Alex Proyas. Loved the production and art design in that film. Definitely unique film as well. Good cast. Yeah, Dark City. That's a cool pick. Number 60, Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior. I'm surprised that's not higher on the list. It's the fucking Road Warrior. Well, okay. All right. Seems a little low. If you want to get out of here, you got to go through me. uh yeah, I like the Road Warrior. It's one that I saw like years later, like way after the hype and everything. But I would definitely say that's like the best Mad Max film, at least to me personally. Um, Number 59, Quartermass in the Pit. Heard about that one. Never seen it. Number 58 is Gravity. Is Gravity really a science fiction film? Like, I guess you could consider it to be one, since it's not really based on a true story, but it doesn't take place in the future or anything, and it deals with a lot of pretty much realistic sort of scenarios involving NASA and astronauts. So I I guess you could baby. I guess you could maybe. Sorry, I saw Prevenge last night, and that's still in my brain apparently. I guess you could maybe see it as a sci-fi film. I don't know about that. Really don't know about that. Number 57 is Donnie Darko. Is that really a science fiction film? Is it? Like, I know there's like, isn't there like time travel and some sort of stuff, but I don't know about being sci-fi. Gravity, yeah. Yeah, I think Gravity was awesome. I thought it was awesome too. I saw it in the theater in 3D. It's pretty impressive. Um, Number 56, the original Time Machine. Okay. Do you remember like the remake? Does anyone remember the remake of the Time Machine? What, didn't that star Guy Pearce? Is that who that was? I could honestly have the actor mixed up. Okay, yeah. Yeah, digital may be easier to use, may seem to look sharper, but its image is more artificial and lacks the dynamic range and tangibility that film offers. It just depends. I really think it just honestly depends on what's being shot. That's just me. Gattaca, I love Gattaca. Gattaca is one of my favorite science fiction films. Like that film was so ahead of its time. Like you could see that kind of stuff happening now. It already is. We already have designer babies, and you could totally see stuff where people start getting separated in terms of classes based on their genes. Like that's not that far fetched. Number 55 is Repo Man. That's cool. Honestly kind of wasn't expecting that considering it's such a cult kind of film. Number 54 is Soylent Green. It's people. Soylent Green is people. Uh, I don't really think Soylent Green is that great of a film. Like it's a movie that's, I guess, iconic because of that very twist, but I wouldn't say that it's a great movie. Number 53, Akira. That's a little low. I mean, I honestly think that's a little too low for Akira. I mean, number 53, like in terms of like an animated film, an animated sci-fi film, like how many other animated sci-fi films are even nearly as good as Akira, let alone better than Akira? I mean, I do like heavy metal, but Kim asked, "Do I have any Star Wars toys?" I did at one point. Like I had like Darth Vader with a removable helmet. I had like Luke Skywalker. I had like a snow speeder and like an X-wing. And I used to have a lot of Star Wars toys actually, but I did some dumb thing when I was a kid, and I did like a trade with some local kid or whatever. So I don't have most of them anymore, but I think I have a few of them somewhere in storage. But I don't have anything that's like rare by any means. Uh, but yeah, Akira's awesome. Love that movie. Number 52 is Predator. Predator. Wow. Another one that's too low for me. I would definitely have it higher than 52, but I'm still glad it's on the list. I know Predator 2 won't be on the list, which sucks because that movie kicks ass too. But Predator, classic. Um, Come on, do it. Kill me. Do it now. What are you waiting for? There are a lot of things in that movie that I love, but there's other stuff that I'm kind of getting tired of. Specifically, the "Get to the chopper." Like I never thought that was one of the most memorable lines from that movie, and like it just became the line that everybody quotes. Arnold references it in movies like Killing Gunther and whatever, and I'm just like, and the Expendables films, and I was like, it's not even that great of a line. Like, it's not even a one-liner. He just says, "Get to the chopper." Like, what? I always preferred stuff like "Stick around," or "If it bleeds, we can kill it," or "You are one ugly motherfucker." So I've always liked those lines better. But Arnold is just one of many things that makes that film great. I mean, the supporting cast and Bill Duke and everyone else, Jesse Ventura, um, Sonny Landham, the score by Alan Silvestri, um, the design by Stan Winston of the Predator, which is something that was done last minute. Like the original design was weird and didn't work. And Van Damme played the Predator, then he like hurt himself or he did something to get him to get fired, and they had to change course. And Stan Winston was just such a master of makeup effects that he just last minute while he was on the plane even got some inspiration from James Cameron about the design, and bam, there you go. Just just a great great example of a um, classic science fiction film with a classic iconic character in Predator. And Kevin Peter Hall, such a trooper, because that was a lot of makeup. Uh, will I do a room tour? I don't know, maybe. I'd have to like find a way to set up something with my phone or something. Otherwise, I don't know how I would do it because the webcam only stretches so far. Have I played any Star Wars games? Not really. Other than a little bit of the Super Star Wars games on Super Nintendo, that's really all that I've played. Yeah, Class of 1999. Yeah, I've heard about that one. I still haven't seen it yet, but I do have the Blu-ray. Hey, it's cool, man. Like that, I Ghost in the Shell is not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna kill you if if you don't like Akira or it's not your cup of tea. Buck Rogers. Do you mean like the TV show or just Buck Rogers in general? Like I'm not like an enormous Buck Rogers fan, but I don't mind the TV series. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I have the Kino Lorber Blu-ray, and that's the best the show has ever looked. Yeah, John McTiernan. Yeah, he was one of the best ever. I mean, look at what he did with Predator. So you had like Predator, you had Hunt for Red October, you had Die Hard, like all three of those films, like in the span of just a few years. And then he got arrested. And prior to that, he did the Rollerball remake. So I don't know what happened. Uh, let's see here. 3 questions and his thoughts on Star Wars characters: Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Thrawn trilogy from Timothy Zahn, and him being in the Mandalorian. The Timothy Zahn novels, I remember being pretty decent. In fact, I think those are way better than the actual Star Wars sequels that we got from Disney. I don't have much to say about him being in the Mandalorian. All right, Bobby, have a good night. Thanks for being a mod for me for a little bit. Johnny, I mentioned War of the Worlds already because it was on the list, and I like it okay. I just like the remake more. Took all your big boxes of games to the SNET to Earth to so you burned them to save room. Did you sell them at least? I'm hoping you at least sold them and got a profit. The Blob, Boy Who Cried Wolf story. I prefer the remake of The Blob, but that's just me. Number 51 is Fantastic Planet from the list from 1973. This is a really trippy, weird ass movie. And speaking of trippy, that's perfect timing for the fucking light over here to have its wigging out moment. I'll just leave it off. Just have to go with the lighting that we have here. Not the best, but you can still see me. Fantastic Planet is such a trippy movie. Great animation. Number 50 is a film called Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. I heard that's another trippy, weird movie. I still haven't seen it yet. Do have the Blu-ray though. Number 49 is Starship Troopers. The only good bug is a dead bug. I definitely enjoy that one. Casper Van Dien kind of sucks as an actor, but that film's a really fun spectacle of a sci-fi movie. Some great action, good effects. Paul Verhoeven did an amazing job. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Paul Verhoeven film, but it's definitely a really good one, though. Have I ever seen Robot Monster? No. I've heard of it, though. I think it's the one where there's this guy dressed in a gorilla suit who has like a helmet on with like a fishbowl and like an antenna or some shit. What are my thoughts on Inglourious Bastards and The Hateful Eight? I haven't seen either one, so I can't really say much. Hey there, Jedi. Number 48 on the list is Ghostbusters, the original from 1984. It's loosely sci-fi, I guess. I guess you can call it sci-fi. Just like you could maybe even call Ghostbusters a fantasy film, but I mean, all right. It's not normally what I think of when I think of sci-fi, but I guess you could technically put it in there. I love Ghostbusters. The 1984 film is one of my favorite films. Um, it's a movie that I honestly could never get tired of. I could watch it over and over again and just enjoy it just as much the first time around. Um, so I don't have a lot of thoughts about it being on the list. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. If it is technically science fiction, or it could be considered that a part of that genre, then I'd probably have it higher. I think it's a little low if that's the case. Number 47 is Contact, because like I mean, is Contact really better than Ghostbusters under the same logic? I don't think so. Have I seen Alienation? Yeah, Alienation is pretty good. Uh, the TV series I'm curious about. Uh, I would like to check that out. Actually, I actually did find like a link where I could like stream some episodes and whatever. I know the TV movies that they did after the TV show are like crazy out of print, hard to find, but was able to find those too, but not the actual DVDs because those are just too expensive. But yeah, Alienation, that's a film that I'm surprised isn't talked about more, considering its parallels to race and a lot of the social commentary. Um, Thoughts on Halo? I grew up playing Halo. I grew up playing Halo and Halo 2. Some of my favorite video game memories are playing Halo and Halo 2. And I was really looking forward to this TV series until I read some stuff and I'm like, really? Master Chief shows his ass? And that there's this bullshit about Master Chief isn't really the hero. Or this bit, spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen the show, uh I don't care if this is spoiled for me because I'm kind of glad that it is, because whenever I get around to watching the show, then it won't be such a frustrating bullshit surprise. Uh some absolute garbage where Master Chief sacrifices himself and Cortana takes over or some fucking bullshit. Ugh, just no. I mean, Master Chief looks great in the show, but sounds like the writing is straight up ass. Um Yeah, I know. It's technically more of a supernatural comedy, but you know you could technically bend the rules because they do have a lot. There is a lot of science fiction in Ghostbusters. Yeah, Contact is pretty decent, but it is a little bit too long. Do I consider Spaceballs over Galaxy Quest? Yep, I like Galaxy Quest. Never give up, never surrender. But Spaceballs, I would say I'm a bigger fan of. Do I like The Hidden? Yeah, I love The Hidden. I fucking love that movie. It's one of my favorite sci-fi films. I don't think it's going to be on the list, but I love that movie. Great. And I know it did get a Blu-ray um, from Warner Archive, but it's basically bare bones. I think that film deserves way better. So I'd love to see that get like a just loaded treatment edition from like Vinegar Syndrome or Kino Lorber or somebody. Yeah, I know Jedi. It would be cool to see a common piece on the list, but that's never going to happen. We all know that's never going to happen. Not on this kind of list. It has like Black Panther on it. Helicopter death scene at the end of Cliffhanger. Helicopter death scene at the end of Sudden Death. Cliffhanger. Keep your arms, legs, and hands in the vehicle at all times, shithead. uh, Number 46 is that movie called Her that I've heard about but never seen. You know that guy who is so lonely that he starts fallen in love with Siri. Number 45 is District 9, another one I've heard of but still haven't seen. Number 44 is Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. Classic sequel. Probably my pick for the best original series Star Trek film. Surprised it's so low, but okay. That just means First Contact isn't going to be on the list. Number 43 is Total Recall, the 1990 film. Classic. Consider that a divorce. See you at the party, Richter. Oh man, I love that movie. You think this is the real Quaid? It is. And it was a lot of fun watching that again in 4K. Where's Highlander 2 in the top 100? You know it's not going to be top 100 worst sci-fi movies, maybe, but it's not going to be the top 100 best. That's for sure. Oh, I will review Total Recall as well as the remake, which might as well be called Total Lens Flares, because there's nothing but lens flares in the fucking thing, or just a elevator ride to hell, because there's just a big giant elevator in that fucking movie. Yeah, the three-breasted. I don't think she was actually an alien though. There's just a mutated human, something along those lines. The remake though is fucking shit. Like the remake doesn't have any of the charm, doesn't have any of the charisma, doesn't have any of the energy or the fun of the original. Remake's awful. Yeah, I know Matt enjoyed Highlander too. Like I can watch the Renegade cut to be perfectly honest, but the theatrical version's shit. How do I feel about Kevin Love? I got some stories for you about Kevin Love. I went to high school with Kevin Love because I went to Lake Oswego High School, and Kevin Love was, at least back then, he was a dick. He was a typical fucking jock who would bully people and would pick on others. I was one of them, but you see, I had my moment at the senior party. We're hanging out in the gym and in the gym at that. I think we rented out some gym somewhere, and I had been practicing shooting hoops for years, and I'd gotten to the point where it was pretty good, and so I was just shooting hoops and whatever, and Kevin came up and we started competing against one another, and for one moment in time, I actually beat him. I hit a shot from the corner, 3-pointer before he did. And then I've always remembered this. Like he just kind of just stopped for a second, kind of almost was like, all right, okay. And then left me alone for the rest of the night. I honestly feel there was like a moment of like mutual respect with between me and Kevin Love for that one moment in time. And honestly, over the years, yeah, it is the same Kevin Love who played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kevin, I've honestly come to respect him because of his way that he's come out and he's talked about mental illness and awareness, and he's even talked about things like bullying and stuff like that. So I think he's definitely. He sounds like a guy who's matured. He's become an adult, which makes sense. I mean, he's an adult now. Uh, I doubt he probably even remembers me. But yeah, I do have like a little bit of a connection with Kevin Love. So that's probably like I would say probably the most famous person, I guess, that I've had some sort of loose connection with in my life. That's for sure. With Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, it depends on what your criteria is. That's for sure. Number 42 on the list, The Fifth Element. I would have it higher than that because I think The Fifth Element is fantastic. This is like the second time I'll be showing this on a stream because or maybe the third time. It's a great movie. Love it. Get a multi-pass from me any day of the week. 41 is They Live. It's another classic. Another one I'm surprised isn't higher considering its social commentary and things like that. But I'm still glad that it's on the list at the very least. Number 40, Wall-E. Wall-E it's all right. I wouldn't put it in like top 40, like top 40 best science fiction films of all time. Like I wouldn't really put Wall-E that high. I mean, I put Short Circuit higher than Wall-E. Number 39 is Dark Star. I don't like Why is Dark Star this high? 39? That's one of Carpenter's weakest films. I get it. It was a low budget movie. He did it as a student film. He got some extra money and it turned into a feature film. Regardless, it's a comedy that's not funny. Don't really care about it in terms of like the quality of the humor as well as like the quality of the storytelling or the characters. Like there's some nice, I guess, creativity in that film. You know, they worked with a low budget and everything. That's a movie I guess has been remade, or to be honest. Yeah, I don't like Dark Star, and I don't know why it's that high. 38, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the remake from 1978. It's definitely one of the better remakes, and I'm not surprised it's on there. It's a good one. Another good remake is another Body Snatchers remake, Body Snatchers from 1993 by Abel Ferrara. But I knew that wasn't going to be on the list though. Number 37 is Primer. Is that one I've heard about? I think I did it for like $7,000, and yeah, I just haven't gotten around to seeing that one yet. Number 36 is Inception. I actually got that in 4K recently for like $2 at a local Goodwill. I thought that was a pretty good score, to be honest. Like and it was in good shape too. Like a 4K Inception for like $2. Sign me up for that. That's a film I didn't like initially because I like stuff like that, but I just wasn't a big fan of it because I liked Dreamscape and I thought it ripped off Dreamscape. But it's a film I want to watch again. I think I'll like it when I give it another shot, to be perfectly honest. At first I thought I was talking about Kevin Hart. No. Nope. Kevin Hart. I don't think he would be in a position to bully anyone. But you know, yeah, I hope he's changed now too. I honestly think he has. Yeah, I do like the Tom Cruise remake, War of the Worlds. Lucy, I like Lucy. I don't love Lucy, but I like it. The ending is fucking nonsense. The idea itself is just complete bullshit. Oh, what if you could use 100% of your brain power? You already do. But even though the idea is bullshit, it's got some good action. I think Scarlett Johansson did a good job acting wise. Luc Besson is a good filmmaker. Has some good visuals and so on. And he's a guy who could definitely make visuals pop. So yeah, I would say, yeah, Lucy is a film I don't mind. I wouldn't put it in my top 100, but I don't mind the movie. Rogue One, is it good? No, I don't think so, but hey, go check it out for yourself. Favorite movie on 4K you like? Oh, there's so many films on 4K, but I guess I can just throw in RoboCop. That got a 4K recently that looks really good. The Relic or Mimic? I like Mimic, but I would say I would give the nod to The Relic, which I think is incredibly underrated. Number 35 on this sci-fi list is The Man Who Fell to Earth, the one starring David Bowie. It's a film I heard about and never saw. I still haven't seen that one. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because I haven't seen it. Number 34 is Galaxy Quest. So Galaxy Quest is on this list, but not Spaceballs. Okay, all right. I'm just stunned. Galaxy Quest is this high on a list of like the best sci-fi movies ever from like Time Out Film. Like that's really surprising to me. But it's a good one. I like that film. Have you ever seen Eve of Destruction? I haven't seen it all the way through. I remember the last time I tried to watch, I actually fell asleep. So, but that was so long ago. I do have it on Blu-ray though. Should give it another shot. I know that one has Gregory Hines and Renee Sujicic or whatever her name is. Opinion of Hardcore Henry. I think it's an underrated sci-fi action movie. I think it's a blast. I think it should have done better when it came out in theaters, and I really enjoyed the film. And it was cool to see the guy who did the film direct another movie in Nobody fairly recently. Hardcore Henry or Deadpool 1? Deadpool. I like Hardcore Henry, but I'm not gonna choose it over Deadpool. Yeah, I know, post-apocalyptic action. This happens a lot on these kind of lists. Yeah, I don't understand it being higher than Wrath of Khan or even Return of the Jedi. How about Star Crash? Yeah, I don't mind the movie either, but you know it's not gonna be on there, and neither is Battle Beyond the Stars with the titty ship. I mean, they had to know what the hell they were doing. I remember when I first saw that movie, I was like, "Does that spaceship have tits?" And like at first, I was like, "Nah, no." But then I watched it. Then I kept watching it. I was like, "That spaceship does have tits." Um. Yeah. All right. Number 33 on the list is Silent Running. That's a pretty good one. Number 32 is Gattaca. Nice. That's a nice little golf clap for that one. Put it in like the top half of the list. Okay. Nice. Number 31, The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original. All right, that's a pretty good one. Uh, Number 30 is Jurassic Park. Wow, only number 30 for the 1993 film Jurassic Park. All right. Number 29 is Planet of the Apes, the original. It's a good one. Honestly, I like some of the sequels more than the original though. Do I have any of the Jurassic Park films on 4K? Yep, I have all of them except for the new one because that hasn't come out in 4K yet. Because it hasn't even come out in theaters yet. But yeah, I do have all of them. I have the box set. Uh, yeah, Jedi. Dark Knight Returns is a classic. I think it's. I agree with you. I think it's still a classic. We'll ever do a Spider-Man MCU review. I do want to. I want to revisit the entire MCU one of these days, but it just is a matter of time. That's really what it is, and like preparing myself because it's going to be a pretty uh, uh, long trek. But that being said, like if I do start to do it, I will probably just break it up into phases so I don't burn out. Because I could easily see myself burning out really quickly if I tried to just do all these Marvel films like all at once. So I'd probably go all the way back to phase one and then work my way up. So it might be a while till I would get to Spider-Man MCU stuff. Um, Best Star Wars prequel film, Episode 3. Favorite R-rated comic book movie. Ooh, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of comic book films that I like that are rated R, but I gotta go with Deadpool. Close little, Deadpool 1A, Deadpool 2 1B. Blade is also up there too, as well as Blade 2. Number 20. I also like The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. 28 is La Jetée. I knew that was gonna be on here. I get it. It's revolutionary. It's this. It's that. I thought it was just okay. I saw it in film class. I was just like, all right. 12 Monkeys to me is better. Number 27 is A Clockwork Orange. That's a classic. Definitely a classic. Uh, Number 26, the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Number 25, 12 Monkeys. Okay, all right. I was wondering whether or not they're even going to have it on the list. Number 24, Ex Machina. Boo! Fuck that movie. Number 24, you're going to put that fucking film above Silent Running, Independence Day, both Invasion of the Body Snatchers movies, Star Trek 2, Return of the Jedi, Total Recall, Akira, Predator. You're going to put fucking Ex Machina above all of those films? Like, I would think even most people who like Ex Machina would think that's bullshit. And I don't like Ex Machina. With it's a who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. A fucking film that thinks it's so smart, but it's about as deep as a fucking puddle. Oh my god, I was so shocked and surprised by the ending. Really? You were shocked and surprised by the ending, then you haven't read any films about, I mean, you haven't read any stories or seen any movies about fucking AI before. That ending was so predictable. Like, if you had seen anything involving AI in the past, like, 20 years, you would have seen that ending coming a mile away. Uh, I mean, it has some good performances. I'll give it that. The direction is pretty decent, but the writing is nowhere near as smart or as good as people make it out to be. You ever seen an episode of The Outer Limits? Just saying. Fuck's sake. I'm reading this list off of a list of the best sci-fi films from Time Out Films. But yeah, fucking Ex Machina. Fuck that movie. Number 23, AI, Artificial Intelligence. What? AI? AI? I don't get that one. I that high for AI. Like, that movie isn't that great either to me. It's got some nice effects, and I know Kubrick. That's a film he wanted to do or he was working on before he died, and Spielberg pretty much did it to pay tribute to Kubrick. But I mean, I don't remember people being like, "Oh, yeah, AI is one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made." Like, I remember a lot of people saying it's like one of the worst, right? One of the most disappointing, like one of the best. I don't know about that. Number 22, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I know that's getting a 4K release. That's another one I still haven't seen. I should definitely check that one out. I like Jim Carrey, and I know it's considered one of his best acting performances, but still haven't seen that one. Number 21 is Back to the Future. That would be in my top 10. Might even be in my top 5. Back to the Future to me is as close to as perfect of a film as you can get. I love Back to the Future. Just a great movie. Timeless. Timeless film. I'd put it above Forbidden Planets. I mean, Forbidden Planet to me isn't nearly as good as Back to the Future. I don't know why Forbidden Planet is that high. Oh, because of Robbie the Robot? Okay. The film's fine, but I wouldn't say it's better than a lot of these other films on the list, like Total Recall or The Fifth Element or They Live. Number 19 is The Fly remake from 1986. Okay, I would have that higher too myself. But, that's just me. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Like, what makes that film so compelling and so strong to this day is not necessarily the great Oscar-winning practical effects by Chris Walas, but it's the strength of, like, the love story and just the tragedy of it all. Like, that's really what makes The Fly still buzz so strongly. I think in a lot of ways it's due to its operatic nature. It's very much a tragic opera. And that score by Howard Shore. Oh, love that score. Number 18, Children of Men. That overrated movie. I was never really a fan of Children of Men. I just thought it was just It had some good shots, some nice direction, but I don't know. I wasn't as big on the plot as other people were. Definitely wouldn't have it ranked in the top 20, the best sci-fi movies ever made. And we have the original Solaris uh, from 1972, which I have on DVD, but only because it was super cheap. I don't know when I'm ever going to go around to watching it since it's like 4 hours long or some shit. 16 is T2, Terminator Judgment Day. That one is a classic as well. Good sequel. I prefer the original Terminator, which I'm surprised is not on the list. But I still like T2. It's got some good action in it. Number 15 is Stalker. Heard things about that, never saw it. Moon from 2009. That's number 14. That's another one that I've heard some good things about, and I have in 4K, but I still haven't seen it yet. Number 13 is The Matrix from 1999. Okay, I could see that. I could see that being on a top list, especially as high as it is. Number 12 is The Thing from 1982. I'd have it in my top 10, but I'll take top 12. It's crazy. It's so crazy that the Thing was so hated and so derided upon its release, and now it's like almost universally loved and lauded after all these years. Just shows you how great the film really is. Yeah, I do like the first film better, but that's just me personally. And yeah, The Matrix, yeah, it's a great movie, classic. Why am I so sure I'm going to make a random Prey? Here's the thing. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. I always am. But I'm just getting the same vibes from this trailer that I got from the Ghostbusters reboot or some of the other films that I've absolutely hated. And seeing like the synopsis, which is basically just there to virtue signal on the trailer, that's just a really bad sign. So I'm about 90% sure it's going to be a rant. But if it surprises me, it will surprise me, and I'll be the first to admit it. Would I say that the trailer for Prey is slightly better than all the trailers for the Predators or worse? Well, I mean, the full trailer isn't out yet, so can't really say that just yet. And now we're going to get to the top 11. So we have number 11 is E.T. Force. E.T., the film that overshadowed The Thing in 1982 and takes the top spot, bumps out The Thing and edges ahead of it once again. I'm going to share a controversial opinion. I don't really love E.T. I think E.T. is okay. I don't think it's great. It's got some great things about it. I mean, John Williams' score is amazing. I think it's got some good performances, but I don't think the film has really been this timeless classic over the years, like a lot of people feel it is. Like, it's similar kind of films with like a kid being involved with an alien or whatever. I'd rather watch Flight of the Navigator than E.T., but that's just me personally. Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's fine, but I don't know. I don't love the film. Also, I think E.T. is creepy. Am I the only one? I think E.T. is creepy, man. I think E.T. is like a walking wrinkly ball sack with teeth and eyes, like with a fucking finger. I don't know where it's been. I don't know where he's gonna put it. Yeah, I'm and I remember like a guy. I remember like years ago, I did a video and it was kind of a little bit of a rant on ET. And there's this guy who just started like trolling me and just giving me all kinds of shit and saying I hate the 80s because I don't love ET. That was funny. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I don't think it's as great as people make it out to be. Would I rather watch ET or Mac? I'd rather watch ET. Yeah, I agree. Iron Giant. I think Iron Giant is better than ET. ET, yeah, ET was originally going to be a horror film called Night Skies. It originally originated as maybe a sequel to Close Encounters, but then it turned into its own thing. Um, and there's a whole story about that. I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to go too deep into it. Hey, that's cool, man. Navigator. It makes me tear up in a different way, in terms of like what's going on with time travel and everything. Um, cool thing poster in the background. Where did I get it? It came with the Thing Blu-ray that I got from Scream Factory. So, all right. Next up, we got number 10 is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. All right, cool. I can see that being in the top 10. Wow, The Terminator. The Terminator is number 9. Yeah, I know. It's just, different opinions. But yeah, number 9 is The Terminator. Cool. Number 8. Am I seriously not going to see RoboCop on this list? I'm starting to see the possibility that RoboCop is not going to be on this fucking list, but Booker of Banzai is, and fucking Ex Machina. Okay, gotta take some deep breaths, because that would be some serious fucking bullshit. Number 8 is Metropolis. That's a classic. That's a good one. Metropolis is in a lot of ways like a genre-defining classic in the science fiction genre. Number 7 is Brazil. Wow, Brazil in the top 10. I like Brazil. I think it's got some really great imagination, and Terry Gilliam did a good job in terms of the direction. Uh, but top 10, I definitely wouldn't put it on there. Which cut do I prefer? It depends. I do like the Giorgio Moroder cut just for the soundtrack and just for like the 80s-ness of it. But I also really like I think it's like, I don't know if it's called the director's cut or whatever. Like it's like the cut that a lot of critics prefer. Like one of the more recent cuts that was put together. Yeah, the Terminator kicks ass for sure. Yeah, I know. Where's Blade Runner? Like, where's Blade Runner 2049? Like, I don't even know if we even talked about Blade Runner 2049 or not. I don't think that was on the list. Let's see here. Number 6, Star Wars, the 1977 film, A New Hope. Yeah, I know. Where's Aliens? You didn't miss that part because it isn't on the list. It's not on the list. Not yet, anyway. Star Wars, though, classic. Great movie. But here it is. Number 5, Aliens. Aliens is on the list. Thankfully. Top 5, too. Wow. I mean, hard to argue with that, but wow. I still remember, though, when I saw Aliens in the theater like a few years ago, there were like a bunch of people were coming out of the theater and they were all like, that movie sucked. And those effects look cheesy. And I was like, oh God. Thankfully I don't have a pulse rifle. That makes Jesus fucking Christ. Just shove it up their ass. Fucking aliens. Aliens sucked. Give me a fucking break. Number 4 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's a good one. That's a classic. I really like that one. Um, yeah, War Games. I don't know why that's not on the list either. Not on this list. Number 3 is Alien. Good, because I was almost worried that Alien wasn't going to be, because I didn't see it yet. All right, okay. What do we got here? Number 2, Blade Runner. Okay. What is number 1? Blade Runner 2049? No, it's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay. I'm stunned. I can't fucking believe it, man. I can't. Are you fucking kidding me? You got a list of what is considered to be the top 100 greatest science fiction movies of all time, and there's no fucking RoboCop. There's no RoboCop. There's Buckaroo Banzai. There's Ex fucking Machina. There's no RoboCop. I can't believe it. I'm stunned, speechless. The fuck? There's no RoboCop on this list. God damn it! Wow, wow. There's so many films on this list that don't even deserve to be here. And I mean, you have Predator. Okay, it's too low, but it's on the list. You got the Terminator. You got the Thing. You got the Matrix. You got T2. You got the Fly remake. You got Back to the Future. You know, a lot of classics in the genre. Jurassic Park. You know, fun stuff like Independence Day. You know, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake, They Live, The Fifth Element, Total Recall, Star Trek 2. But like, you got Contact on the list, and they don't have fucking RoboCop. I just, like, even if you're trying to be sophisticated, you know, in terms of being critics, you know, I know, get out of here. The fuck. You got Brazil. Yeah, needs to be above Brazil. Need a good dick slap. Need a good shot in the dick. I just, man, really. I even thought like the critics would have it on there because, you know, it was ahead of its time when it comes to its social commentary about the fact that um, corporations are running cities or and so on, but no, no, wow, all right. So, yeah, they got Avatar in there, but there's no RoboCop. So how long have I done YouTube for? Way too fucking long. No, I've was like 2007, 2008 or something. Like I've been on YouTube for a long time. It's been over a decade at least. Um but yeah, and I'm surprised, yeah, I'm surprised Blade Runner 2049 wasn't on there somewhere either. Cuz I knew RoboCop 2 wasn't going to be on the list or Blade Runner 2049. Oh, actually I thought that might be on there, but I also knew that Predator 2 wasn't going to be on there. Some of the other sci-fi films that I enjoy. I knew like the direct-to-video movie, The Machine, was never going to be on a list like this, even though I think that's a better version of Ex Machina. That's just me personally. Just going back to the comments here, just doing some catch-up stuff, and then I'll probably cut the stream. I'll probably shut it down. Thoughts on the Jetsons? I haven't seen an episode of the Jetsons cartoon in ages. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about it, to be honest. Uh, I do feel the same way that Matt does, though, when he was talking about the Flintstones movie. Like, why has there not been a Jetsons live action film? So I'm about to say Flintstones. There already is a Flintstones live action movie. But why has there not been a Jetsons one? It's surprising. Do I like explorers? Jesse, I like and I honestly love the first half of that movie. It's right up there with other classics like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, and so on. Like, I love it that much. When they're building the spaceship and the friends are hanging out and they're vibing with one another. And then once they get to space, I hate the movie. It's like the most love-hate relationship I have with the film that I can think of off the top of my head. I hate the ending. I hate it so goddamn much. The air was let out of the balloon completely. These stupid, annoying aliens, and all around the world, it's like, what the fuck is this? You could have had it like be like some kind of space adventure with like pirates, like space pirates or something, and the kids have to team up with the alien to defend for themselves and escape back to Earth or something. No, I mean fucking annoying aliens who watch cartoons. Like the fuck, the fuck out of here with that. Um, that's the kind of stuff that you put on the screen when you explore your own asshole and throw it on there. So yeah, but I love that first half, man. I really do. Yeah, Ryan, Back to the Future in 4K looks great. Cinematic Venom called The Fly the greatest horror movie of all time. Wow. I really like the film, but I don't know if I can call it the greatest horror movie of all time. That 70s show, Chase, I enjoy the show. I remember watching reruns and stuff like that on CW or the WB. I have it on Blu-ray. I have no hope at all for the 90s show. I mean, that 80s show sucked, and this just seems like it's a nostalgia cash grab. Like they're only doing this because Netflix is desperate. They're like, well, hey, what do we have? Like, what kind of properties can we get where we can actually get people to watch our shit again? Uh, that 70s show sequel with the original cast minus Hyde because he's a fucking scumbag. But yeah, I'm not. I don't think it's going to be that great. Plus, also, I think that a lot of the luster of that 70s show is going to be lost. Like a lot of it was about them being young, and and the vibe of the 70s. Like I don't think the 90s stuff is going to be as fun, especially with them like being older. Like, what is it going to be? Really focusing more on their kids or something, or some other group of kids? I don't know what they're going to do. Um, it sounds like something that's been closer to like Fuller House than like a good like sequel series or something. I've heard about Cyberpunk 2077, but I don't have the right setup for anything like that. I think it might be cool. Have I seen Dinosaur? Oh, if I did, it was years ago, and I don't remember anything. Have I seen Walking with Dinosaurs? No, but I've seen the documentary thing. Is that what you're talking about? Like the documentary series? But I don't think I've seen the movie though. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, I agree. RoboCop and the Terminator are awesome, and I wish they did a RoboCop versus Terminator with a big budget, but that never happened. Honestly, at this point, I just want an animated movie with Peter Weller and Arnold voicing. Yeah, I remember reading about that. It's like a fucking dildo. Uh, yeah, totally agree with that. Get the hell out of here. Stop your grinning and drop your linen. That guy was totally inspiration for the sergeant in Halo. Like there's so much in Halo that's totally inspired, honestly, possibly lifted from aliens, to be honest. The black hole. That's an interesting one. That's another one I'm surprised hasn't been remade. I know there was talks about it, but it hasn't really led to anything yet. Oh, cowboy stuff. Okay. A bunch of people probably don't care, but I'll still answer this retro. Uh, it's all right. I've warmed up to it. I think Tyler Smith is actually a better pick than some people think. Because yeah, he's a project, but on the Cowboys board, he was ranked higher than other prospects, and he led the FBS in big time blocks. So yeah, he's got to work on his penalties. But I think he could be a good guard, and it's to start out with. And we need guys in the middle who can bruise and bully people, and actually open up holes for Zeke and Pollard and protect the quarterback. So I'm not really someone who's as upset about the Tyler Smith pick as others. Like I used to be. Like when it happened, I was like, "Why did we pass up on this guy?" And I'm like, I've warmed up to it. I really like the Sam Williams pick. I know Quinn really liked the kid. It seems like a lot of the issues that people think he has was him just being used out of position. He's got some really freakish athletic traits. Um, I think Tolbert could be a steal. Some good talent there. Uh, Overall, the draft is fine. I mean, there's a lot of, players where you're just going to be like, oh, really? Like, I think Ferguson might be a good pick, good boost for the tight end room. But, I don't hate the draft at all. I still think the Cowboys should do something about like linebacker depth or something. Like, seems a little thin. But I do like the Clark pick. Like, if he recovers, that could be a steal. Uh, yeah, I'm surprised that Godzilla and King Kong wasn't on. Neither of those movies were on the list. Yeah, nah, 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 nah. No, no, not in a million fucking years. Is Judge Dredd on there? Demolition Man and Running Man? No, none of those films were on there, and I don't think Judge Dredd should be on there. I knew you'd say that. I am the law. But I could still watch Judge Dredd, but Dredd, the Carl Urban one, that one's way better. That should have been on the list if you ask me. Thoughts on Ultraman? Never seen it. Heard about it, but never saw the show. Um, let's see here. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I do. I love The Last Starfighter. I did a review of it. Kind of bummed it didn't really get a lot of views. Maybe I need to change the thumbnail or something. I thought it was a pretty decent review. Um, that's definitely a film that I really really like. Would I say Nomads is a good movie? It's okay. I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but it's all right. It's crazy to think that's where John McTiernan started his career, was with that film. Uh, The Hidden, yep, definitely underrated. Stay away from The Hidden too, though. It's dog shit. Tron 1982. I'm surprised that's not on the list either. I like Tron, but I don't love it. But I do like the film. And with Tron Legacy, I love the visuals and that. I love the soundtrack by Daft Punk. I saw it in the theater, but there are things about that I hate. I hate what they did to the original Tron. I fight for the users, and I die in 10 seconds. I mean, what the fuck, Disney? What the fuck? Like seriously, all this build up. Actually, a good idea to have Rinsler be Tron. I fight for the users, and I fucking die. The hell, bullshit. Um, Thoughts on The Sixth Sense? The Sixth Sense is a show is a film that I don't mind. I like, but I don't love it. Got some good performances, but I definitely don't love the movie. How was The Changeling? It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that film. It's a really good haunted house film with a great performance by George C. Scott. It's really effective, chilling movie. Um, No, I wouldn't say The Shining is an art house film. And speaking of sci-fi, I think I'm gonna end the stream on this. Saying Jesse over here talking about whether or not I like Life Force. Yeah, I like Life Force. I think Toby Hooper did a good job. Matilda May is quite the sight to look at in that film, and I think the score is pretty iconic, at least the main theme. And it's a weird movie, but I like Life Force. I've always liked Life Force. Curious to see what it'll look like in 4K. Actually, it's getting a 4K release from Scream Factory. But anyway, yeah, that's it. We talked about the list of sci-fi films. We chatted for a little bit. Um, until the next stream and until the next time, I'll see you later. See ya.